Okay, so here's something that'll blow your mind. Right now, as you're watching this, the US national debt is sitting at over $36 trillion. Yeah, trillion with a T. But here's the crazy part. It wasn't always like this. In fact, there was actually a moment in American history when the national debt was zero, completely paid off. So how did we go from zero to owing more money than most people can even comprehend? Buckle up, because this story is wild, and honestly, it affects every single one of us. The beginning. Let's rewind to 1776. America just declared independence, right? But fighting a war isn't cheap. By the time the Revolutionary War ended, the brand new United States owed about $75 million. Now, that doesn't sound like much today, but back then, that was an absolutely crushing amount of debt. Enter Alexander Hamilton. Yeah, the guy from the musical. Hamilton had this controversial idea. Instead of each state dealing with their own war debts, what if the federal government just took it all on? Consolidate everything. A lot of people hated this idea, especially the states that had already paid off their debts. They were like, why should we help pay for everyone else? But Hamilton argued that if America wanted to be taken seriously on the world stage, if we wanted to borrow money in the future, we needed good credit. We needed to show we pay our debts. And honestly, he was right. The only time we were debt-free. Fast forward to 1835. President Andrew Jackson, and look, this guy was problematic in a lot of ways, but he became absolutely obsessed with paying off the national debt, like it was his whole thing. He hated debt with a passion. And on January 8, 1835, he actually did it. For the first and only time in American history, the national debt hit zero, completely paid off. Jackson was so proud, he threw a party. But here's the thing nobody tells you. It lasted for exactly 1 year. By 1836, we were back in debt. Why? Because running a country is expensive, and sometimes you need to borrow money to invest in things that will pay off later. Wars cost money. Throughout the 1800s, the debt went up and down, but it stayed relatively manageable. Then came the Civil War. Between 1860 and 1865, the debt exploded from $65 million to over $2.7 billion. That's a massive jump. War is expensive. You've got to pay soldiers, buy weapons, feed armies, everything. But here's what's interesting. After the Civil War ended, the government actually started paying it down. For decades, they chipped away at it. By 1900, it was back under $1 billion. Then World War I happened. 4 years of war, and boom, the debt shot up to $25 billion by 1919. Again, huge jump. But nothing, and I mean nothing, prepared America for what was coming next. The Great Depression and World War II. The stock market crashes, the Great Depression hits, and suddenly a quarter of Americans are unemployed. People are starving, banks are failing. It's a disaster. President Franklin Roosevelt comes in with the New Deal, massive government programs to put people back to work, build infrastructure, create a safety net. All of this costs money, lots of it. The debt starts climbing. Then, December 7, 1941, Pearl Harbor. America enters World War II, and the spending goes into absolute overdrive. We're building tanks, planes, ships, feeding and equipping millions of soldiers, funding allies overseas. By the time World War II ended in 1945, the national debt had skyrocketed to $260 billion. That was about 119% of GDP, meaning we owed more than the entire economy produced in a year. But here's something wild. After the war, the economy boomed. The 1950s and 60s saw incredible growth. We didn't pay off the debt, but it became a smaller percentage of our economy because we were making so much more money. The modern era. The debt kept growing through the Cold War, but the big jumps came later. In the 1980s, under Reagan, it tripled. Why? Tax cuts plus increased military spending equals more borrowing. The 1990s under Clinton actually saw the debt growth slow down, and for a brief moment we even had budget surpluses. People thought maybe we could actually start paying it down again. Then came the 2000s. The dot-com bubble burst. September 11th happened, leading to 20 decades of wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. The 2008 financial crisis nearly collapsed the entire global economy, requiring massive government bailouts and stimulus. The debt crossed $10 trillion under Bush, then $20 trillion under Obama and Trump as we dealt with the aftermath of the financial crisis. And then 2020 hit. COVID-19. The entire economy shut down. The government had to step in with unprecedented spending, stimulus checks, small business loans, unemployment benefits, vaccine development. In just a few years, we added over $7 trillion to the debt. Today, we're sitting at over $36 trillion. That's about 120% of GDP, similar to World War II levels. So here's the question everyone's asking. Does this matter? Should we be worried? Here's the truth. It's complicated. Some economists say the debt is actually fine as long as we can keep making our interest payments and as long as the economy keeps growing. The US dollar is the world's reserve currency, which gives us unique advantages. People and countries still want to lend us money. But others warn that we're heading toward a crisis. Interest payments on the debt are becoming one of the government's biggest expenses. We're talking hundreds of billions of dollars every year just in interest. That's money that could be going to schools, infrastructure, healthcare, whatever. The real issue isn't the debt itself, it's what we're getting for it. If we're borrowing to invest in things that make the economy stronger, that's one thing. If we're just borrowing to pay for current expenses without any long-term benefit, that's another. So what happens next? Honestly, nobody knows for sure. We could grow our way out of it like we did after World War II. We could make hard choices about taxes and spending. Or we could keep kicking the can down the road and hope future generations figure it out.